Over to Tottenham, Paul. Andoni Areola, obviously the manager of Bournemouth, is a hot name on the market right now, with Real Madrid rumored to be interested in him to replace Ancelotti should he leave this summer. Do you think Tottenham should make a quick move on from him and move on from Ange to try and bring the Spanish manager in?
There's absolutely no chance Areola's going to Real Madrid. Having spent 2 days in Madrid talking to Madrid journalists, there's only one manager, and we all knew that's going to be. You look, you know where Real Madrid are. The Champions League for Real Madrid is the holy grail. If Carlo Ancelotti wins that, his future's in his own hands, his destiny. You know, the 15 times winners of the Champions League, that trophy is what means everything to Real Madrid. And I think you look at Xabi Alonso, you look at where they are manager-wise, you know, players coming into the club. There's no big rotation at Real Madrid. The next manager there is not going to be Areola. This is in no disrespect to anybody. Real Madrid do not get rid of Carlo Ancelotti and bring in the Bournemouth manager. Okay, as well as he's done as his top manager that he is, that is not a path that's well trodden, and it doesn't get trodden. So you see what Areola's done at Bournemouth, and you can understand the links, and you can understand the links to some of the top jobs. As far as Tottenham go, Ange for me is not done. He's got one opportunity when his players come back. He's gone that far down the road of, you know, this is my team, this is the way that I'm playing, and I'm not changing for anybody. When he gets all his players back, if results don't change, that's when you start talking about his future. There's a situation at Tottenham at the moment where, obviously knocked out of both cup competitions within a week, if he was going to go, he'd go then. Ange has got between now and the end of the season, or let's say the Europa League season, to ensure that he stays at Tottenham for any length of time. Areola, for me, on a different thing. Would I be disappointed if he came into Tottenham? No, I like him. I like what he does. I like what he stands for. I like the way that Bournemouth play, and I think he's a very good manager. As far as the links to Real Madrid go, I think that's one of my favourite sayings. I think that's kite-flying journalism, and I can't see that, and it's not happening. There's only one manager that's going into Real Madrid if Carlo Ancelotti does leave. As far as Tottenham go, Ange's got an opportunity to save his job between now and the end of the Europa League.
Paul, just to interrupt you there, sorry mate. You play for the club, at what point does it not become a manager thing? Because Tottenham have brought in Mourinho, one of the well-known best winners there possibly can be in football. Conte won the Premier League. The list goes on. The names you've brought in these winners, and you've just been useless. Pochettino, obviously, he was one of the better ones. Still didn't win anything. Do you really think it's actually a manager issue at Tottenham? People say it's the Levy or whatever. What do you actually think it is?
So what you've got to give Daniel credit for is he's not been afraid to make big decisions and hire managers. Nuno Espirito de Santo was a bad decision. That didn't work. You look at where he is now. Would you hire him? Look at what he's done with Nottingham Forest. Look at what he's done at Wolves. Look at what he did in the Saudi Pro League, winning the title. You look at his record everywhere but Tottenham. He looks a good hire. So Tottenham fans demand trophies. I mean, it's the stick that's used to beat Tottenham with by every set of supporters. How long it is since they won a trophy. A trophy, a piece of silverware, is important. So Daniel goes and hires win-now managers. Jose Mourinho, Antonio Conte, 2 win-now managers. But if you're going to hire win-now managers, give them the budget to buy win-now players. You look at the recruitment system what Tottenham have had over the years. The recruitment this summer was good. They bought young, good, quality players for the future, not people that are going to make an instant impact. Archie Gray for me has been one of the best players of the season, but there's absolutely no way that they bought Archie Gray intending on playing him the amount of games that they have done this season, especially at centre half and right back. And I think over the years with Tottenham, the hiring and firing of managers hasn't been an issue, because as soon as the cameras get pointed at Daniel Levy and the protests start, that's when the manager goes. I think there's a Scott Munn who's in there as a director of football. That may not be his correct title. I'm not sure on his title, but he's a fellow Australian along with Ange Postecoglou. I'm not so sure whether that's somebody in the dressing room, in the boardroom that's got Ange's back upstairs looking after him. But there's a lot of people at Tottenham that are hanging their hat on 10 games at the start of last season. The way that Tottenham play, I understand the injuries, I get it, I completely get it, but you've got to have a different way of playing and stop the rot, plug holes and get some kind of results. But he's gone that far now that he's stuck his flag in the ground, hasn't he? This is the way I'm playing, I'm not playing any other way. And when it comes off, it's brilliant, as we've seen. Beat both Manchester clubs this season, beat Liverpool this season, and you look at some of the results they've got, and then you look at other results they've got and where they're sat in the Premier League. it's not where Tottenham should be, and it's not where Tottenham want to be. Recruitment hasn't been there again in January, in the same way as Arsenal made that bid for Ollie Watkins. I mean, look at Tottenham's bid for Mark Gahey at the end of the window. If you're serious about signing Mark Gahey, phone Steve Parish up before the window opens. How much do you want for the player? What would it take to get him out of Crystal Palace? He's got 18 months left on his contract. Palace said in the summer they didn't want to sell him to Newcastle. If you're serious about the injury problems, weren't something new in January. The injury problems Tottenham had going into January, and if you know you want to bring these players in, you're ready for the opening of the window. As soon as that window opens, you've got bids in, you've got conversations going on, and if you're serious and you're going to back the manager and bring those players in, 1st of January, Tottenham announced the signing of Mark Gahey. No, they don't. They put in a bid like West Ham do, like Arsenal have done, at the end of the window that's then put in the public domain, and they, we tried to get him. If you tried to get him and you really wanted him, you could have done. And I think that's been an issue over the years, not backing the managers with a Champions League budget, if you like. You look at we talk stadium, training ground, infrastructure, business, everything about the club, world class, apart from what's on the pitch.
Over onto potential signings, Connor. Tyler Dibbling is one that's been a hot name, obviously, since he kind of burst onto the scene in the Premier League this year. Do you think Spurs will be able to fend off the other suitors for him? Because I know a lot of top clubs are interested.
Yeah, I think Newcastle and Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea interested everyone. I think I mentioned it when we spoke about Matoma. But them two, probably the other ones mainly interested in. But Dibbling's unbelievable. Like, you watch Southampton, they are really bad. They are really not good this season. They're just not a great team to watch. I think Suleimana's pretty decent, but apart from him and Dibbling, they're not a great team. But he stands out a lot for them, and he's not going to come cheap either. One thing might go in their way, whoever does manage to get him, whether it's Spurs, Newcastle, Chelsea, whatever. If they do get relegated, he's probably going to go a little bit cheaper than what you'd expect if he stayed in the Premier League, because they're going to need the money. Just to go and rebuild again, because they're probably going to get relegated, because they are, I think they're on 9 points or something silly like that. They're just not a great team. And I'm just coming in to just beat Southampton with a stick. It's a hard thing to do, come up from the Championship to get into stay in the Premier League. It's just proven by the amount of teams that do it in recent seasons. Particularly, the gap is so big between the Championship and the Premier League. One of the only two teams have actually done it properly. One team has done it properly in recent years, Nottingham Forest, and they got a point deduction for overspending because they had to do that. Leeds stayed up, but then they went down again the next season because they had to sell Rafinha and whatever, the best player, just to stay within PSR. So it's a really hard job to do. So I think Southampton will have a right job getting him in. If Tottenham can get in, fair play, that is one young player who would do really well for them, I do believe. But let's see, like Paul said, if you're not going to back the manager with the proper budget, then don't expect trophies at the end of the day. Money isn't everything in football, proven, but it makes it a lot easier if you can just spend money and compete with these Champions League clubs and stuff like that. People fear, other clubs from Europe, they fear Premier League teams. Real Madrid particularly, they fear Premier League teams. They know they've got so much more capability commercially. The financing in the Premier League is insane. That's why it's called the Super League. They want to bring the Premier League teams down. So Tottenham, they need to do something with this manager. They need to either back him or send him packing. I think back him, because I'm loving what I'm seeing right now, and I would love Tottenham to stay where they are. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Tottenham.